Morning, this is Gracie Opulanza. Oh jeez, I'm way old. And I'm all about eccentric and opulent lifestyle. Add a lot more about me on gracieopulanza.com. Here in Koh Samui, and Four Seasons, The White Lotus, season 3 is being filmed as we speak. Interesting way of I'm finding out about casting and how it works. In any industry really, it all comes down to who you know, and that's all I'm going to say about it. So, on a different note, I am going through menopause. The weather here in Koh Samui is, one would say cool. There's still high humidity, but there's this gorgeous last few days of a cool breeze, which is bliss. My swimming pool is nice and cool, which helps with my stiffness that I am going through in menopause. I have to say I'm getting osteo treatment. Had a knee injury, and it's really helping, but also I'm finding the swimming, because that strengthens my inner core. Exercise helps my mental health. I'm in my teenage years and early 20s. Sport was my life, and then I moved to London and Europe, and then everything else took over. So don't underestimate exercise. We hear about it. It's painful, it requires mental effort, but find something that works for you. And low impact exercise, unless you are Davina McCauley or an athlete or someone that's done vigorous exercise all your life, don't go start pumping weights. I mean, in menopause they're saying the weights are good, but low impact. But stuff like swimming is fantastic. It's, look at that view. This is what I do. I lie up and look there. It's great for my mental health. Life is, most of the time boring, isn't it? And it's monotonous, and day in and day out. And I'm doing a lot of writing, which is a love-hate relationship. Jotting down stuff for the book. Painful. Anyone that says writing a book's easy, well, maybe for some, but it's painful. If you just listen to writers, you've got to have the discipline, the skill, the know-how. The discipline really is the key, just persevering, and I am. And part of me is like, oh, what am I doing this for? Who's going to read it? Who cares? And got to eliminate that. And so I give my time slots. So in the morning when I wake up, the first thing I do everything that I hate. I'll find a chore, and that's just working on editing, commercial marketing. I'm a very impulsive, live in the moment kind of person, and I get motivated by my external stimulation, always been like that. So discipline and everything else is very, very, very hard for me. And it's painful, and I just that hole, and it's very can't be bothered. And it's finding that balance in menopause, and I do feel a massive shift in the last couple of weeks of just last year. I feel like I've been walking in mud. So maybe the writing is helping, and I'm using all my resources. Very blessed that I have not one 20-metre pool, I've got two, so what's the excuse? Finding, because the water's cooler early in the morning, it really is helping my inner core. The osteo as well, really blessed lady I found here on the island of Koh Samui, really helping the inflammation, the injuries. And so if you find that helper, look after them, be grateful and use them. And gorgeous. I drink lots of coconut. Did you know that coconut's high in magnesium, which is really good? Is it working? I don't know. You know, now with the menopause, there's so much marketing behind it, as they always do, like the beauty industry. Now they're going to try and get more money, extract more money out of us women, and we'll buy into it, especially when you're suffering so much. Coconut oil, I use a lot. Castor oil. If you just put in menopause on gracieopulenta.com, you'll see all my first-hand tips that work for me. You know, I'm not getting paid for promoting castor oil. I'm not getting paid to promote coconut oil or anything that I'm doing. Just sharing this caring. Menopause is really, they focus on the research of the premenopausal women between 20 and 30s that are still having babies. Like, geez, you know, how's that going to help us that are in our 50s? But even just realising, you know, I'm 52, just to be alive, to be active, to be present. I mean, I travelled the world. Check out my recent trip to Laos. Oh my goodness. Gridlock country between Vietnam and Thailand and China. The Luang Prabang, the silk hand woven artistry. Check that all out. Worth visiting. Go and visit it. There's China has put a fast train in there, and 17 new dams are going to be built on the Mekong River. It's going to get ruined very, very quickly. I'm going to try and get out there late December. I'm sure I'll see a massive change, so very grateful that I could go there. And I've got, oh gosh, I've got 6 weeks and I'll be back in Italy on the Italian tour front. Help me. You're looking for a place to rent in Italy. Been in Tuscany since 2019 and it's beautiful, but I'm going to venture out now, head to Umbria, Abruzzo area, maybe outside Rome, maybe down to the South Bari where I live. The Italian tour, mixed emotions because I'm going to be driving and hunting. And I'm on a limited time in a way because my rest of my family want to fly into a home. How do you know, how do you know if you're in the right country? How do you know when to kick those doors down? How do you know when to persevere? How do you know when to listen to those promptings? I mean, how hard can it be to find a nice rental in Italy? It's difficult in the very touristy areas, I can tell you that. So I'll know, and I'm going to share that journey. You can have a look at my Italy, just put in Italy, villa, Italy, Airbnb Italy, my worst experiences. I'm in Italy because I stay long term, and I wouldn't recommend Airbnb being long term in Italy because Italians get really quite narky about it. You know, they want you to end up rebuilding a whole house. Read all about that. But that's life, isn't it? Isn't it? All these landlords. I'm a landlord. I'm a very nice landlord because I know what it feels like to have horrible landlords. What a gorgeous day, just soaking it in. I have a lot of juices, turmeric for inflammation. I'm very blessed. I've already been writing since 6, did a few articles, now taking a break. Deciding what to have for breakfast. We'll go to the market, lemongrass, ginger, fresh coconut milk, and curries, and chilies, shrimps, things that are all good for me. Trying to get rid of that menopause belly. I mean, there's a balance at the time where you have to acknowledge it, but also I'm at a point where, like, do you know what? Just got to push through. And by what I mean by that is I'm pampering myself a lot. Massages, travelling, swimming, writing, creative shedding. Don't underestimate it. The new look, which is on Apple TV, it's about Dior and Coco Chanel. That's interesting, you know, heavily criticised. But no one, how dare we judge anyone during war? You do what you do. Coco Chanel had to do what she did. Didn't own the company, had to try and get it back. Did the collaboration of the Nazis, trying to hide that, but that was her walk, that was her choice. Dior, his sister got, who was against the Nazis, got sent to a Nazi a prison camp, and his story is about how he does anything and everything to get his sister back, which is amazing. So the first 3 episodes are all just about working and collaborating with the Nazis. I mean, it was, even though Dior did create dresses for the Nazis, had to do it for the money, for the survival, to eat, to fund also. He funded his sister's Gestapo life, where Chanel just worked with him to get control of her company back. Her Jewish partners were in New York and just wouldn't give her the money. Rightly, can understand that as well, considering Paris was taken over by Nazis for years. So what would you do during war? I have no idea. Do everything to protect my family, and I can't say I'd be loyal to the right or wrong. I just don't know. In those circumstances of war, and I've met people have gone through it, and you can't judge. The betrayal, and so I'm really finding that very interesting. At the end of the day, if Chanel didn't do what she didn't do, she wouldn't exist, and you wouldn't be wearing those Chanel stuff, would you? And Christian Dior, interesting character, and there was a clash there. They never liked each other, and Chanel was very heavily criticised that Dior's clothing were impractical. I love wearing impractical clothes. Helps my mental health and my mental shedding. So but you need your rivalries, don't you? You need, Messi and football, and Ronaldo with football, and Formula One, and Hamiltons and Verstappens, and in the fashion world, you've got, who would you say the rivalries are? LV versus Gucci, designers, JW Anderson. Their enemies, or the competitors, is what compels you to push yourself to come up with different, innovative, creative ideas, which is really hard in the fashion world. That's why I loved Laos. Have a look at crazyropilanza.com, LAOS. Have a look at everything there, because it was really not unfamiliar to me, but it was really nice to see hand-woven items that are not on the runway, that are not mass-produced. Though that'll change because of China. It's a dying art. There's, the third generation. Carol Cassidy explains that, they don't want to do it. You don't want to use their hands. But it's really important to use your hands in the writing, because it stimulates the creative side. The youth of today, my teenager girls included, are just all anxious, and I feel that that's because the digital world is so fast and ever-changing, and pen to paper, paint to paper, knitwear, that is slowing the mind down and creative shedding, so you need to embrace it. And these are all things that I try to incorporate in my family life and keep the peace, especially myself, for menopause, or because the mood swings. Well, I've always been moody anyway, but it just can be so irrational. Check out all my articles on menopause. Writing, just sharing my story for those that are struggling, and it's hard for women. Men go through it too, and the majority of them leave their wives, go for a younger woman and have babies. How many men here in Thailand, Western men, they're 50, 60, 70, having babies with younger women? Keeps them alive. Whereas, older men, younger men going for older women, they'll only go for the money, let's face it. Why would you go for an old body at 52, 60, if there wasn't any financial gain? Why would you? When you've got these young 20-year-old women. That's the fact. God knew what he was doing when he blessed the woman. But in saying that, I do my best. I put a lot of coconut oil in my hair, on my body. It's your body also. Due to hormonal changes, loses a lot of water and you dehydrate. So I'm one big coconut. I am the coconut tree. Beautiful. I get local ladies to make it for me. It smells amazing. Not like that commercial crap in Watson and Boots, and God knows if it's really pure. So I'm very blessed, and I love the smell. So the smell of lemongrass, of coconut oil and ginger, of coconut self drinking it. Later I go and get a coconut, have a drink on the water. It's just beautiful, grateful. Even walking in here in my jelly bean tube, taking the weight off stiff muscles. Castor oil, big fan of it. Great for detoxing, constipation, wonderful. So there you go, people. Share your menopause, share your creative shedding, share your travels, and have a look at it on GracieOpulenta.com. I've got vintagestyle.com, I've got men'sstylefashion.com, and another blog that I really like is nomadgirl.co. She's brilliant. Talks about the latest in visas, the latest in travel, latest in tax. Nomad Girl. See you later, beautiful people. Yeah, my goofy upside down Gucci wear, bought it in Venice. 2021 pandemic. I need to get back to Italy and need to find that house and get my stuff out of storage. I write about it about 4 years. I need my wardrobe back, because part of me with my wardrobe dressing up is creative shedding. It's who I am. It's in my DNA. Makes me feel good. And my clothing are all, I'm a trendsetter, you know. I don't follow trends. Gosh, how boring. Always been like that as a child. Friends would turn up in the latest billabong and I'm like, ugh. Jeez, get original, like, you know, the Grammys and everyone wearing Vuitton. Oh, it's nothing luxury about it. Work in the world of luxury. What's so luxury about it? Anyway, I talk about the Beyonce cowgirl image as well, so get on to that. Share your thoughts. Here, a lot of just information here this morning. The key is the menopause life.